You follow everyone?
So yes, sir.
Let's go one more time. So we are giving y plus 2 is equal to x. The first method you could do is this: you use the balancing method, right? You want to get rid of the positive 2. Now, opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. So that means you minus both sides by negative 2, right? So say y plus 2 minus 2 is equal to x minus 2. Then the 2 minus 2 give you 0. Let with only y is equal to x minus 2. The other way around is that you write the same thing down, y plus 2 is equal to x. Then move this one, which is positive 2, over the equal sign. Once you go to the equal sign, it would have changed. They would have been positive, then turn to what? Negative. Right. Are we clear on that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's look at the next one, right? The next one, we have y minus 5 is equal to x. Okay. So how will I approach this? If you are using the balancing method, what will you do?
So y?
Y, yes.
Negative minus 5.
Yes,
Plus 5.
Plus 5, yes,
Equal x plus 5.
Okay, so if you are using the balancing method, you want to get rid of this negative 2, right? Negative 5, sorry. So opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. So you add everything by what? You add both sides by 5. You should have 5 on the left hand side and you have 5 to the right hand side. Then what you do now is this: you realize that these 2 would have cancelled, right? These 2 here would have cancelled. So let with y is equal to x plus 5 as your answer. Or we can use the short method. We want to try the short method. Or we write y.
Be y is equal. Y is equal.
Right. So the short method that been what? Y equals
x plus 5.
X plus 5. Now, so remember that in the exam scenario, it doesn't matter if you use this method or that method. The most important thing is it should be logic, and whoever marking should understand what you are doing. Cool. Are we clear on that? All right. So let's continue. Any question? Any question?
Okay.
No, sir, no question.
All right, so let's move on to the next example. So hold on for me. This one is what? Example 2, right? Example what? Example 2. All right. So I move on to example 3. I have 2x minus 2x is equal to 6 minus y, right? And we want to make y the subject. We want to make y the what? Subject. How do we make y the subject here? I want the y to stand by itself. How do I make y to stand by itself?
So you're going to say 2x.
So we say 2x. Now we want so look at it this way. We want the y to stand by itself, right? So okay, tell me what you have in mind, then later I'll see if it will work out.
You don't want to get rid of, you want to put a 6 on the other side?
No, I mean, it depends what you want to write. I just want to listen to what you have to say.
So it's 2x.
Yes. So
minus 6
minus 6. Okay, so 2x minus 6
equal
6 minus 6 minus y. You are using the balancing method, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So that's fine. Okay. All right. Then what do we get now?
2x minus 6
Mm-hmm.
equal y.
No, it's not equal to y. What sign in front of the y?
Negative y.
Negative what? Negative y. Now, so listen, this is very important thing I need everybody to observe here. This is negative y. It's not positive y. They never say that you should make negative y the subject. They say they want you should make what? You
Why?
should y the what? Subject. Now, can somebody tell me what can I do to get rid of this negative?
So you're going
Why?
to divide by -1.
You divide it by -1. But better say, okay, I could do that, but any better option than divide? Think about it. Of course, we could divide, right? We could divide that, but I want to see if there's any better option than divide. All right, so let's assume that let's assume that if there's no number here, right? You'd have put here what? Would have put here 1. Are you following me? Negative
Yes, sir.
1. So you have to get rid of -1. This -1 here is what? Actually what? Negative, right? This is actually multiplying with the y, right? It's actually multiplying with the y. What's the opposite of multiply?
Divide.
Divide. Okay, so 2x minus 6 over -1 is equal to -1 y over -1. All right, that could work. Then we cancel this with that. All right, so let negative and negative have cancelled. So we left with y. But now this one here now look a little bit awkward, right? How best can I write this? How best can I write this? -1 can go to -1 going to what? -1 going to positive 2x. What do I get? Talk to me. Positive 2 divided by -1. What do I get? There's nothing wrong. Okay, let me explain myself. There's nothing wrong if you leave it this way. But as a math student, you can go a little bit further, right? Now, -1 going to this will give me -2x. Now, -1 going to positive 6 will give me what? -1 going to -6 will give me positive 6. It's equal to y, right? So that means if you want to make y the subject, you can say that to the left. You always put the subject to the left, right? Y is equal to -2x plus 6. Now, you are wondering why I told you that why you don't have any better option than divide. Because look at what we could have done. I could have done this too. Watch this. I could have done this, right? When I reach here, I have no. When I reach here, look at it. When I reach here, right, the same place.
But it's good.
2x minus 6, right, is equal to negative y. When you reach here now, you could have multiplied everything by -1 if you wish. That's why I asked the question. If you don't have any better options, so look at it. You multiply this one, everything here by -1. So -1 times 2x will give you -2x. -1 times -6 will give me positive 6. And -1 times this will give me positive y. And you get the same answer. You realize that? And that is faster, but there's nothing wrong. If you do it this way and you do it that way, and remember that it should be y is equal to -2x plus 6. Always you put the subject to the what? To the left hand side. Now, what is the short method we can work out this same thing here now? So we did the balancing method, right? What would have been the short method we could have done the same thing? So we are giving 2x. We have 2x, right? 2x equals to 6 minus y. So watch this. How can I work with this one directly and I get back the same answer? Anyone want to try? How will I work 2x minus 2x is equal to 6 minus y? One question, can I move this negative y to this side? This is negative y, right? Look at it. This is negative y. This is negative y. When I bring it here, it becomes what? So can I write 2x plus y is equal to 6? Or will I be wrong if I write that? Hello?
Yes.
Will I be wrong if I write this one here? I have 2x equal to 6 minus y. And I'm asking the question, if I write 2x plus y is equal to 6, am I wrong? Now remember that this is negative y, right? This is negative y. When I bring it here, it becomes positive y. You see that? Now you want to make y the subject. So if you want to make y the subject, so y will be equal to 6 minus 2x, which is the same thing. Look at it. This is negative 2x and this is negative, and this is positive 6, this is positive 6. It's the same thing we achieve. Or if you want, you write y is equal to negative 2x plus 6, the same thing. You put the negative first and the 6. Are we clear? Any confusion? Any confusion? Any confusion?
Yes, sir, for the last one.
Okay. Okay, so for the last one, okay, look at it this way. For the last one, you want to get positive y. You don't want to get negative y, right? So the best thing we did was this thing. Would have moved. Let me just do it over and then you see. Look at it. So for me to do this one here, right? I have 2x minus plus equal to 6 minus y. I'm going to move the negative y here first because it to be uncomfortable to work with negative y. So I move negative y over the equal sign. This is negative y. When I move the equal sign, it becomes positive, right? So I'm going to get 2x plus y is equal to 6. You understand so far? You get that? Now, after you establish that now, you want the y to stand by itself. Now you have positive y. What you wanted actually is positive y, right? So now, after we establish this now, we want the y to stand by itself. So we have to get rid of the 2x. This 2x is positive 2x. I'll carry it over the equal sign. It becomes negative what? 2x. So I can put y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Or somebody can say y is equal to 6 minus 2x, the same thing. So somebody can write it this way and someone can write it that way. It doesn't matter, it's the same thing. Is it clearer now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go to the next example, right? My next example, I have 5y is equal to 10. And I want to make y the subject, right? How will I use the balancing method? What will I do?
So you divide
By 5.
You divide everything by 1, 5.
5.
Just okay. We divide everything by 5, right? So be 5y divided by 5 is equal to 10 divided by 5. Yes. Then what do we do? 5 goes to 1 time, 5 goes to 1. 5 goes to 1 time, 5 goes to 2. So we get to y is equal to what? 2. All right. Now, or somebody can say 5y is equal to 10. Then they say y is equal to 10. Now, this is actually multiplying. Opposite of multiply is what? What's the opposite of
Divide.
multiply? Divide. So you divide this one by 5, right? And you get y is equal to 2. So remember that somebody will write it this way, another person will write it this way, and we get back the same what? The same results. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Move on. All right. Let's look at the next example. 5y plus 2 is equal to x. We want to make y the subject. Anybody try it for me, guys? Take 2 minutes and see you can do this one. We want to make y the subject. How will you make y the subject?
Sir must answer.
Yeah, tell me what should have done.
Sir, sir, I'm not sure. No, sir, get rid of the 2. So you take subtract it on both sides.
Okay, all right. So you are saying that I should put 5y plus 2 minus 2 is equal to x minus.
Subtract 2.
Okay, all right.
And you leave back with 5y equal.
Okay, so this and this would have cancelled. Let me move on. 5y.
5y equal x. Take away 2, and then you want to get y by itself. So you divide everything by 5.
Now, so we want to get y by itself. So we get rid of the 5 now. The 5 here is multiplying. Opposite of multiplying is what?
Divide.
Right, so it'll be 5y over 5 is equal to x minus 2 over 5. Right, so this 5 cancel this 5 here. What is left? Y is equal to x minus 2 over 5. So this is one method, right? Anybody want to go to the shortcuts now? Or how will I write this? Anybody to go? The shortcuts, we have 5y plus 2 is equal to x. What's the shortcut of doing this?
5y equal to
5y equals to yes.
x minus.
Yes. Minus 2. Beautiful. So this is positive. We carry it over. Then what next now?
The 5y divided
Y equals to x minus 2 over 1. Over?
of 5.
Okay, so, right, and you get back the same thing, right? So I am doing this because some students are used to do the balancing method, while some are not. They use, most of the time I show my students the shortcut, right? But I realize that sometimes when I'm teaching, some students love using the balancing method. That's why I'm just doing that. Are we clear? All right. Any question up to this point so far?
I gave it to you. No, I gave it to you.
Okay. Is anybody here who is lost?
No, I put my table.
All right. So one of the things I will tell you, like when you answer your question, you just mute yourself, right? So you don't actually disturb the others, right?
Oh, welcome.
All right. So Jada, mute your mic. You can hear your this now, right? Please. Thank you. After you answer the question, ensure that you mute your mic so you don't distract other people. All right. Okay, good. Let's go now. So far, any question up to this point? Any question? Feel free to ask any question up to this point. So let me just go over this part here quickly. when you have y over 2 is equal to 6 over 1. What you do, you cross multiply. It'll be 1 times y is equal to 6 times 2. 1y is equal to 12. 1y over 1. You divide both sides by 1, then you get y is equal to 12. When you are giving 7 divided by 2y is equal to 2x over 1, right? We cross multiply the same way. So it's 7 times 1 is equal to 2x times 2y. So 7 times 1 give me 7. Then 2x times 2y will give me 4xy. Then what we do next is this. We want to make y the subject. So we divide both sides by what? 4x. We divide this one by 4x and we divide the other by 4x. We get y is equal to 7 divided by 4x. Clear? All right, so that should have been that should have been 8. All right. Now, so let's look at look at this one now, which this would have been a challenging question. If they give you let's say u is equal to y plus x over, let's say they put here 2y plus minus 3. And I want everybody to focus on this question, right? Now, u is equal to y plus x over 2y minus t. And the CXC asks you to make y the subject. So the first question I'm going to ask you guys, how many y's do I see?
2.
We see 2y, one at the top, one at the what? Bottom. So when they give you something like this, what's the first thing? What's the normal thing you do? It's a fraction. What will you do? What's the first thing we do? So we group this. So first of all, we are going to put u over 1 equals to y plus x over 2y minus t. Follow me, everybody. So you establish this first. Then why you have to, because this is u is the same as u over 1. Agree with me? So you make this one like a fraction, and this side is also a fraction. So once you have fraction on the left-hand side, one single fraction on the right-hand side, another fraction on the left-hand side, what you do, you cross what? We cross multiply. Everybody agree with what I'm doing so far? So we are basing on the concept we know from the before. So we cross multiply. Watch this now. We cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you're going to get u bracket 2y minus t is equal to 1 bracket y plus x. Follow me. Now, the idea is the same. Because I have y on the left-hand side and right on the right, I'm going to expand the bracket. So how do I expand, right? I'm going to remove the brackets now. So how do I remove the brackets? U plus 2y will give me 2uy. Follow me, everybody. U times negative t will give me minus ut, right? Equals to 1 times y will give me y. Then 1 times x will give me positive x. Are we clear so far? Yeah. Now, when I do this one, this is y, right? So I have y on what? On the left-hand side, and I have y at the what? Right? And say somebody mentioned something before, right? So here, remember that after here we cross multiply, we cross what? Multiply, all right? What do we do here? Here we what? We expand, right? We expand. Now, on the third leg now, what will you do here now? Now, if I have y here, look at it. If I have y on the left-hand side and y on the left-hand side, what do you think we should do? And we want to make y the subject. What do you think I would do?
Ready?
No. Anybody want to try? Okay, so watch this now. You are going to group them, right? You group all the y at one side. Are you following me? You are going to group all the what? You group the y at one side. So I am going to move this y here. I'll move this y here. Look at it. I'm going to show you what I will do. I'll move this y here to this side, all right? And I'm going to move the UT to the other side. I repeat, I'll move the U and T to this side here. So I'm going to balance them off, right? So when I come here now, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put 2 UY, right, minus Y. Y minus Y. This is positive, right? This is positive. When I carry it over this side, it becomes negative. Everybody see that?
Sir.
It's equal to, then this X will remain where it is as the X. Then this one is actually negative UT. Then I'll carry it over this side now. If this is negative, when I carry this side, it becomes positive UT. Now, so I'll be able to do that, right? So what I did here was to group the Y's, right? So I'm just writing so what I did was to group the what? What I did there was to group the Y's, right? At one side, at what? One side. Now, then the next thing is say, from this, who can tell me what I can do to make Y the subject for me? I have Y and a Y. What can I do with this expression now? What will I do? What do you think I will do here? Okay. Nobody want to respond. The next we are going to factorize, right? So you say Y, you look for the common factor. We look for the common factor, which is Y. So you factorize for Y, you left with 2Y, 2U minus 1. Now you bring the Y, if Y and Y, you bring the Y out here. So Y going to 2UY will give me 2U. Everybody get that? So you have 2U Y divided by Y. The Y comes to the Y, let it fully 2U. Then you have Y divided by Y. The Y going to give me that to give me 1. That's how I got the 1 here. It's equal to X plus UT. Now remember that these two here, right? They are multiplying with the Y. We want to make Y the what? The subject. So if it's multiplying, what's the opposite of multiply? Divide. So we are going to send these 2 items to go and divide now, right? We send the 2U minus 1 to go and divide, right? So make it easier, you are going to say that Y is equal to X plus UT over 2U minus 1, right? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. This is not, it might look like difficult, but it's not difficult. And as a matter of fact, those who did the exams June gone, they got something like this. And I'm going to I'm going to show you the CSE questions on this paper, and I want you to follow the same steps I've given you, right? The same steps we've gone through. I'm going to ask you to try the CX paper for me, right? And see if you can pick it up. So please copy. So remember that when you reach here now, you factorize for Y, right? So when here now, what you do is where you factorize for Y, right? Then later, the rest is history. So you cross multiply, you expand. After you expand now, you group all the Y at one side. Then later you factorize for Y and you get your answer. All right. Any question on that?
Yes, sir. Sir, we don't understand them.
Yeah, I know that. You are not going to understand it instantly, right? Okay, we'll run through. We are going to run through one more time, right? We will run through one more time for you to get there. So first of all, we have W over 1 is equal to 5 plus V over V minus 3, right? So Zena started with saying that first of all, we have to cross multiply. And Zena said that you multiply the W times V minus 3, right? Then 1 times the 5 plus the V, right? Then Crystal came in and Crystal said that, okay, you have to group the what? The W at one, the V's at one side, right? So we have V here. So let me make it clear here, right? So we have VW or WV, anywhere you want it, right? And this one here. So what she did was to move this one here, this V over this side, right? Then later, what happened? They move the W on the other side, right? Everybody catch that? Everybody understand that part, right? All right. So, Crystal, go ahead for me, please. So after this, what will you do?
Sir, that was the last thing I did because the other part confused me.
Okay. So anybody can help Crystal. After you reach here, what will you do? Now remember that. No, come again. No.
VW.
VW. Okay. So I see that. Hold on. I saw somebody trying to say something. KCN, what will you do, KCN?
Sir, would it be
V. Okay. V. No. Take your time. VW and what? V. VW minus V is equal to 5 plus 3y. What will you do at this point here? When you have V and V here, what will you do? It starts with F. What will you do?
Sir, factorize.
You factorize. So we factorize for what?
Sir, for V.
We factorize for V. Beautiful. So we say V, open bracket. What is left? V go to VW. What is left? W. All right. Then V going to V. What do we get?
-1.
-1. Beautiful. It's got to 5 plus 3W. Everybody see that so far?
Yes.
So now, so after this, what will I do next?
Divide.
We divide. We divide by what? What are we going to divide?
W take away 1.
W take away 1. Beautiful. So say V is equal to 5 plus 3W, right, over W take away what? 1. Crystal, you get that part now?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the fact that you see, if you see the letters, you are going to make the subject at one side. The first thing comes to mind is you need to factorize, right? So remember, it's the same principle here, right? First of all, we cross multiply, right? So the first method, the first stage is that we cross multiply. Then after that, we what? Expand. We factorize. We group the like terms, we group the V's, then later we factorize and we transpose. That is it. We clear so far? Anybody? So guys, so listen. You are not going to understand this topic 1/9. Is that okay? The most important thing is you should remember the steps, what to do, so that you apply yourself. Always remember that when it's a fraction like this, you just cross multiply. Then once you cross multiply now, the first thing you have to do is remove the brackets. After you remove the brackets now, your focus is to group all the variables which if whatever letter they ask you to make the subject, you try to group them at one side. And after you do that, you factorize. And after you factorize, then you transpose and you get to answer. All right. So that is it. Can we move on now? We still do examples now. We still not reaching anywhere. So can I move on now?
Yes, sir.
Are we
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So let's move on to the next pasa, right? The next one I have here, I have x equal to square root of y minus 2. Right, x is equal to square root y minus 2. Now, they want to make y the subject, right? They want to make y the subject. Just follow what's going to happen here. Because I want you see the y is inside this bracket. Everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
Now I need to get rid of the square root. Now, what's the opposite of square root?
Square.
Square. So look at what I'm going to say. For me to do that, I'm going to square both sides. So I'm going to write this, right? I'm going to write x square is equal to, open brackets, this one here, y minus 2 square. Now, when I do this one, I square both sides, right? So it's like a balancing method the same way. I square both sides. Why? Because when I square both sides, this square here will cancel the square root. So this square cancel the square root. That means left here, left with s square is equal to y minus 2. Let's go one more time. The fact that I was given x equals to square root y minus 2, right? And I want to get rid of the what? I want to make y the subject. So the first thing I have to do is get rid of the square root. But how do I get rid of the square root? The opposite of square root is square. So it means I have to square both sides. So I square the left-hand side and square the what? Right-hand side, right? When I finish doing that now, this square here cancel the square root. So they are left with s squared minus y minus 2. I've still not finished because I want to make y the subject. So for me to make y the subject, I'll move this 2 here, which is positive over this side. So I get s squared plus 2 is equal to y. And I say to the left, y is equal to s squared plus 2. We get that? Now remember now, when you reach here, I use the shortcut. If you reach, you can say s squared equals to y minus 2. Then you can add 2 at both sides. S squared plus 2 is equal to y minus 2 plus 2. So this and this cancel the same way. We let if x squared plus 2 is equal to y. Then I'm going to say y is equal to s squared plus 2. The same thing. So either use this way coming down or that way, that really matter. The most important, you understand what you are doing. We good so far? Any question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see now. I still have a whole lot of different examples I want us to look at, right? And please, and don't worry, when I finish, I'm going to see everything I'm going to do here. I'm going to save it in a PDF and send it to you guys so you can have a copy for yourself. All right. So there's nothing for you to worry. Where am I now? Next slide. Okay. So look at this one now. If I give you t is equal to 2 pi square root of L over G. Who can tell me where is this formula coming from? No side, no circumference. Anybody here do physics? Right, so figure it out, write it down and later figure out where this formula is coming from. Right, it's coming from one of the physics, I think pendulum or acceleration or something. All right, so yeah, I want to make L the subject. Follow me. Yeah, I want to make L the subject, right? I want to make L the what? L the subject. Now, talk to me. If I want to make L the subject here, which of the terms I have to move first?
Square.
No.
Square.
The first I have to do, no, I can't move the square because you realize that the 2 pi is multiplying. Am I right? So I need to get rid of the 2 pi first. because it's actually outside the bracket. No, outside the square root rather, right? So if the 2 pi here is, they are multiplying with the what? It's multiplying with the this. So this is what I'm going to say. Pi over 2 pi, no, t over 2 pi is equal to 2 pi over 2 pi. I divide both sides by 2 pi, square root L over G. So what happened? This 2 pi cancel the 2 pi, right? The 2 pi cancel the 2 pi. So we're left with t over 2 pi is equal to square root L over G. You follow? Any question up to this point? Remember now, I need to get rid of the 2 pi. What you ask yourself, what's the 2 pi doing with the square roots? The 2 pi is multiplying with the square roots, right? So what's the opposite of multiply? Would have been divide. So you divide both sides by 2 pi to get rid of the 2 pi first. Then the next we are going to do is this. We are going to get rid of the what? Now, I want to make L the subject. Yes, go ahead. I want to make L the what? L the subject. Where can I find the L? Where is the L?
It's inside the square root.
It's inside the what? Square root.
Square root.
Right. It's inside the square. So that means I need to get rid of the what? Square root.
Square root.
Everybody see that? So the first thing is this, because the 2 pi is outside the square root here, I try to get rid of the 2 pi first. Then the next thing is because the L is inside the square root now, then I will take out the what? So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to square both sides, right? So I'm going to say t over 2 pi is equal to, so I will square all this one, and I want everybody to focus here now. Then I'll put brackets here, square root L over 2, that I square this part too. So I'm squaring both sides, right? I'm squaring both the left hand side and the what? Right hand side. So what I will do is this, the square cancel these square roots. Follow me up. So here now, you have to be careful with this one now. You let if t over 2 pi square is equal to L over G. We follow through. We follow through so far?
Yes, sir.
Now, I am begging you, you need to get rid of this square here now, right? So if you have done indices before, this would have been t square over 2 square pi square is equal to L over G, right? So I've still not finished working it out. So it would have been t square over 4 pi square is equal to L over G. Do we understand up to this point?
So when you finish, can go back. You can go back. Please.
Go back.
All right, cool. Now, so at this point here, right? What will I do next? This is a fraction, this is a fraction. When a fraction, one fraction on the left-hand side and other on the right-hand side, what will you do?
Multiply.
We cross what? Multiply, right? So at this point, we are going to cross what? Multiply. So how do I cross multiply here? I'm going to get t square G is equal to L times 4 pi h, pi square, right? So you get t square times the G is equal to L times 4 now. So what you left here would have been t square G is equal to 4L pi square. Now, follow me up now. The 4 and the pi here, right? The 4 and the pi actually multiplying with the L. And I want to make L the subject, right? So it means therefore I have to what?
Divide.
I have to divide by what? 4 what? 4 pi square. So I say t square g over 4 pi square is equal to 4L pi square over 4 pi square. So this 4 cancel this 4, the pi cancel this pi square. So what is left? T square g over 4 pi square is equal to L. To the left, L is equal to t square g over 4 pi square. That's my final answer. Now, as I told you, sometimes some of the things, they are easy and some of them, they are really complicated, but not really complicated. You just have to apply the knowledge of your algebra. If your algebra weak, this topic is going to be rough for you. But nevertheless, you just give it your best. All right. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm not going to clean anything. I'll go to the next slide and we'll do everything step by step. Don't give up on me. All right. We'll do it step by step. Can we try it one more time?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
I am not cleaning anything, right? I'm going to one next slide. I'm going to do this one more time. So this time around, I am going to put some, let me see. Let make my work a little bit neater, right? I am very untidy when it comes to working maths, but okay, so let me see if I can try it to be a little bit neater this time around. Okay, so let's go one more time, right? Right, and this question that we are doing is a long time past paper question, right? In the 90s, right? So let's try it one more time. Let's try it one more time. The students were given 2t is equal to 2 pi square root L over G, right? They ask the students to find what is, make the L the subject, right? They want to make L the what? L the subject. So what I was saying is the first thing we have to do is get rid of the 2 pi. Follow me, right? You can't get rid of the square. If you do that, it will mess up everything. So get rid of the what? 2 pi first. Cool. So we are going to write that this is multiplying with the pi. Opposite of multiply is what? So work with divide. So work with you so get the understanding, right? Try to participate so that you can understand what is happening here. So it had been the 2 is multiplying, right, with the square root. Opposite of multiply, it would have been divide, right? So it had been t over 2 pi is equal to 2 pi over 2 pi. You divide both sides by 2 pi, then put square root of L over G. Up to this, any question right here? Now remember, I'm not leaving anybody behind, right? So everything step by step. The 2 pi is multiplying. We ask ourselves, what's the opposite of multiply? Opposite of multiply is divide. So we divide both sides by what? We divide this side by 2 pi and divide this side by 2 pi. What we do, we cancel what is necessary. So we cancel this 2 pi with this 2 pi. Clear? Then what is left? We left with t over 2 pi is equal to square root L over G. Is that clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, listen to me. If you are in grade 11, follow me up. If you are in grade 11 and you really want to pass the exams with flying colors, I need you to pay attention and participate. What I observe, if you keep quiet in your online class, you keep quiet, you don't ask questions, right? You don't participate, and you hide yourself, that will not benefit you. It makes no sense you are here. For 11 graders, I'm going to tell you the CXC questions are different now. Pure pasa they put on the questions, and you have to reason to do them good. Right? So I'm going to ask you, don't be comfortable with the easy questions. You have to challenge yourself with the difficult one if you want to get a good grade. All right, guys? So I need everybody to, if you are sleeping, just wake up, right? Drink some coffee or wash your face and just come back and let's run. Now, the next thing is this. We want to make L the subject. Follow me up, right? The L is inside the bracket in the square root. So if the L is inside the square root, I can't do anything until I get rid of the what? Square root. What's the opposite of square root?
Square.
Now, so that means you are going to square both sides, right? So I'm going to look at it now. So I'm going to write open bracket T over 2 pi, right? Square is equal to square root L over G, right? Then we square that. So you square both sides. Now, if you square both sides, always remember that the square can cancel the square root. So that's the principle, right? Just like when you have -2 plus 2, right? So that is the option for that one. So when you come here, this square here cancel the square root. Everybody understand that? The square here will cancel the what? Square root. What we left here now, you'd have gone back and work out whatever you have here, right? And these two in here will affect both everything at the top and everything at the bottom. I repeat, the two will affect everything at the top and everything at the bottom. So I'm going to write T square over 2 square pi square is equal to L over G. Why L over G? The square roots and the square here cancel. So let's with L over G. Any question up to this point?
Sir, so you're going to put the square root with out of the T and the 2 and the 2.
No, so because we want to get rid of the square roots, listen carefully now. Because we want to get rid of this square root here, right? Because we want to get rid of the square root here, we have to square both sides. So we square, we put open brackets, T over 2 pi square is equal to the same thing, open bracket, square root of this one square. This square cancel this one here. The square here will cancel the square root. So it doesn't affect the L and the G. Follow me up. You only cancel the square roots. But the square here will affect both the top one and the bottom one. So the square will affect the T, which will be T square. The square affects the 2 pi, which will be 2 square pi square. That makes sense now? That makes sense to you now? All right, good. Now, the next we are going to do is the same. This one, this side remains the same time as T square. Then 2 square meaning 2 times 2, which give me 4. Then pi here will be left with pi square is equal to L over G. Right. So at this stage here now, I have a fraction, one on the left hand side, the other one on the what? Right hand side. So what I'm going to do next is to what? Cross multiply. When I cross multiply, I'm going to get T squared G is equal to L times 4 pi square. You follow? Now, when we get this one here, right? I need to make this one here so everybody will understand what I did here, right? So not short shape. So it'll be T square. Now let me use the blue. Okay. So T squared times G is equal to L times 4 pi square. Now, remember that your main aim is to make what? The L the what? L the subject, right? So you're left with T squared G is equal to L 4 pi H, if you wish. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to get rid of the 4 pi H. the 4 pi h is multiplying with the L. Now remember, no, the 4 pi h is multiplying with the L. I want the L to stand by itself, so I have to get rid of that. Opposite of multiply is divide, right? So we divide both sides by what? 4 pi h now. So we come here, we are going to write t. So we are going to write t squared g over 4 pi square is equal to L 4 pi square over 4 pi square. We divide both sides by 4 pi square. So when we divide, what do we get? This cancel with this. Are you seeing that? So what we have left? So everything left here would have been t square, right? We have what? T square g over 4 pi square is equal to L.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sir, I think like people want to try to find the pi.
Come again.
Like for pi, I think people want to find that.
No. You don't find pi, no. You mean like maybe you say pi is 3.142? That's what you mean?
Like, you know, like, because just the pi shape, like, I think people don't want to solve it by the seed and then say, all right, probably I should solve it.
No, but if there's a question, they can also ask you to find what is pi. But that if they ask you to find pi, it's much easier. You don't have to go through this stress. Right, but this one, it's not like they want you to find pi. This is a term they put together and they want you to find what is L. So we have to go through that this process here. If you want to find pi, it have been everything would have changed the same way.
No, sir, like you have like at the bottom it says 4 pi square. Like you have like say use like 4 22 over 7 or 3.1.
No, you can't put through. You don't do that. They never ask you to evaluate. They never ask you to solve. They just ask you to what? Find what is what? L. You are making L the subject. So in this case, the pi is just representing any form like a letter. And that's what I'm saying. No? So everybody listen what she's saying. Supposing in the exams, you put t square g over 4 times 3.14 square is equal to L because pi is 3.14. Everybody understand what she's trying to say? If this will be okay, I'm saying no, it's not going to be okay because what you are doing is just changing the subject to the formula. You are not actually solving it. You are just writing in this formula in terms of L. Understood, everyone? But good question, because most likely students would have done this too. Yeah, I don't wrong you. But in a CX, let me explain something. In a CX scenario, if you did up to this point here, and later you put this, they're still going to mark it for you. Reason why is that you would have done all this one year already, right? That's what they wanted, but you went the extra mile doing something on your own. Okay, so our advice is that don't do that, we just leave it listen. Then what we are going to do here is this: we are going to say L is equal to t squared g over 4 pi square. Everybody kind of cool now. So all I'm going to ask you, just copy it out, right? And you try and go over it and see if you understand exactly what is actually happening here, all right? Because as I told you, you can't take one night to just understand everything. But when you are doing it over and over and over, and you look at the steps and you see exactly how it's being done, then you get better understanding and you have your own way of getting it faster. Clear? Okay, so can I do one more question before we go?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I am going to do Which one now? I saw something. It amazed me the other day. Where is that? Some cubic? Yes. For your curiosity, right? I am going to put something here, and don't get mad at me. Yeah, I'm just trying to help you. Now, V is equal to 4/3 pi r to the third power. So I saw one with the third power, not square. Right. I just wanted to show you, if you see something like this, how would I approach it? All right. Because most of you would have known what if they put square, you know what to do. You just find a square root and that. But if they say V is equal to 4/3 pi r to the third power, and they want you to make r the subjects, right? Look at it. They want the students to make r the what? R the subjects. Right. For time's sake, I'll just run through it. But when you find time, just go over it one more time. Is that okay? Now, so the first thing we are going to do, right, is to get rid of the 3, right? You get rid of the 3. What's the 3 doing here?
Dividing.
Dividing. What's the opposite of divide?
Multiply.
So that means we send it to go and multiply it. So it'll be 3. Okay, so that means, let me just show you something. What I would have done, right? Let me just, I want to do everything step by step, no rush. So I multiply it by 3. So I say V times 3 is equal to 4/3 pi r to the third power times 3. So this 3 comes, this 3, right? I multiply everything by 3 here, right? I multiply the left hand side by 3 because I want to get rid of this one here. So what I'm going to do here, this 3 cancel this 3 here. Cool. So what is left here? I'm left with 3V. 3V is equal to 4 pi r to the third power. Everybody see that? Everybody understand this stage so far? We get to do the 3 here. The 3 is dividing. Do multiply everything, multiply both sides by what? 3. The next thing I'm going to do, get rid of the 4 pi. What's the 4 pi doing with the r to the third power? Multiply. What's the opposite of multiply?
Divide.
So we divide, we're going to divide both sides by what? 4 what? 4 pi, right? So that being 3V over 4 pi is equal to 4 pi over 4 pi r to the third power, right? Then we get rid of the 4 pi, right? So the 4 pi cancel the 4 pi. So what is left? So we're going to left with 3V over 4 pi is equal to r to the third power. By the way, is there anybody who is, apart from somebody requested that maybe it was one of the numbers was not added. Is anybody here who name is not added to the WhatsApp group? Your number, your WhatsApp number. Right. If you are something like that, please put your number in the chat for me so I can get it and add it like now before I forget. Right after we finish the class. All right. Now, so the only new thing for all of us, right, is this: how do you get rid of the what? How do you get rid of the what? The r to the third power. Normally, when it's square, we say the opposite of square is square root. Am I right? Everybody understand that? Normally, when you say a square, when you put a square, it's equal to maybe 5. Then we say that a square is equal to 5. We say a is equal to square root of 5. So you get rid of the square. Opposite of square is square root. But what about if it's not square, but it's to the cubic, root cubic, right? So how will you put, if they put the third power? What will I do? Right? What will I do here? So all what you have to do, guys, is this: you are going to put the square root thing but you're going to put to the third power here. Look at it, you put to the third power and you write 3v over pi, right? Then the other side now, this one here now, you're going to put this one brackets, right? Then you put, instead of that, you are going to square, they put the same thing, but you're putting the r to the third power, then put the 3 here. So they say the 3 cancel the 3 here. So put 3 here, 3 at the front here, and 3 the inside. This 3 will cancel this 3 here. So in the end, you end up by getting, instead of square, you don't put anything, you put 3 here. So that being 3 like this, 3v over pi is equal to r, right? Then you put to the left. Okay, this would have been more advanced, right? The only thing would have been to the third power you are going to get rid of. Right, so we put r to the left, r is equal to this 3 the cubic, then 3v over pi, right? So this would have been only the new thing would have learned, right? In terms of changing the subject of the formula. All right. Now, what I'm going to do next class on Friday, I am going to bring past paper question. I'm going to send a past paper question for you before, right? So give you time to practice as much as you can before we come in Friday. Everyone